Our best and worst case records, we did this at the beginning of the year for a whole lot of teams. So I told Colin, it's time for us to hit a reset button. Brandon Marcello released this feature. It's on 247sports.com right now. If you want to wait till the end of the show and go read it, it's really good. You know, he put his thoughts in there. He did an updated version of the best case and worst case records for all the teams in the SEC. So I'm not going to quite be that extensive, but as Colin is showing you the SEC Eastern Division standings right now, how about that? We are sitting here, it's not even Halloween, and there are no undefeated teams in the SEC East. That is what COVID will do to you. So let's break it down. I think we're kind of closely going in this order, not quite in the order of the standings, and we're not going to do all the teams. So Georgia is 3-1 right now, as you see there. Our preseason, when I say our, I mean Late Kicks preseason projections on Georgia. Our best case for them was 10-0, and our worst case was 6-4. So my updated number there is right in line with what Marcelo put in his feature. 9-1 best case, because they've already lost a game, and 7-3 is the worst case. And this one's not hard to figure out at all. I think everyone's question would be the same. It's not, oh, what are you going to do at quarterback? It's if something happens at quarterback. If JT Daniels ends up starting Saturday, who in the world knows, or he starts against Florida, how big a leap can the offense make? Because I think there's an assumption from some that once Daniels gets in there, it's just an automatic shift into a different gear. It may be, talent-wise, he is superior to Stetson Bennett, but that's if he's at 100%. There's a big difference between being medically cleared and being mentally and physically 100% to play ball in this league. So right now, that's where we sit with Georgia. How about Florida? Florida Gators currently 2-1. It seems like they should have played a lot more than that, but obviously they had 2 games canceled on them or postponed. So our preseason model for Florida said 10-0 best case, 6-4 worst case. So they've lost a game too. They lost at Texas A&M. So I'm with Marcelo on this one too. 9-1 is the updated best case. 6-4, both of us still agree that's the worst case record for Florida. It is a very, very important week for the Florida Gators. Now I know they play Missouri, and a lot of you aren't going to watch that game, but Missouri is not a half-bad offense. So I'm not necessarily pitching you on upset alert. We're going to talk about the game Thursday night. They got Georgia coming up in a week. They just got back on the practice field yesterday, I think. Yeah, Monday. So they had to take a 2-week mandatory break from practicing. It's not like they've been down there hard at work on the practice field. I would imagine those Zoom sessions have been pretty fiery because they got to figure something out defensively. And it's not that they lack the personnel to do it. That's kind of what's been so frustrating for Florida fans. The defense holds the key here, and that's why I'm mentioning this week. You'll know, kind of like you think maybe LSU flipped a switch last week. Well, you want to see the inverse of that. You want to see Florida do it defensively. You want to see them flip a switch and not just beat Missouri, but beat them to the tune of instead of making it 51-35, give me something like 35-10 or 13. That would be very encouraging to me. How about Tennessee? Tennessee's 2-3. They have gone into their bye week now. They started off 2-0. They hadn't won a game since then. Granted, they're one of, I don't think anyone's played Georgia and Alabama. I may be wrong on that. Well, anyway, they got thrown into the wood chipper scheduling-wise there. So our preseason model was 7-3 best case, 3-7 worst case for Tennessee. Updated, I'm right there with Marcelo. We're right in line on both of our projections here. Updated best case is down. It is 6-4. Our updated worst case is 3-7. Let me read you the games. Keep in mind, they're 2-3 right now. Here are the remaining games for Tennessee. They got a bye week this week. And then the rest of the way, they are at Arkansas, Texas A&M at home, at Auburn, at Vanderbilt, home against Florida. I mean, Vanderbilt's on there. Elsewhere, what? At Arkansas, something you would have looked at preseason and said, all right, we'll get some things right there. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I got a feeling, and I think it's more gut than anything. I still think there's a different gear somewhere for this team this year. There's a lot of very good young offensive skill talent on their roster. Hasn't fully blossomed. I don't know that it will fully blossom at any point this year. But if it does, what if that coincides with a change at the quarterback position? What if Harrison Bailey ends up getting a much stronger look coming out of this bye week? And just what if that's the click for Tennessee? Because there are going to be teams, you and I both know this, there are going to be teams this year that you wrote off early in the year that, as it turns out, were just ill prepared to start the season because of COVID or whatever you want to call it, maybe just football, that are going to find another gear. I think Tennessee may be one of those teams. So a lot of people are punting on them right now. I think they'll finish a lot closer to 6-4 than 3-7. Colin, you know what? Let's stay in the East. I almost put this paper aside. No. We got to talk about South Carolina. The Gamecocks are 2-3. We are radically shifting from Cocktober to no-win November. That's what we're in danger of here. You got to be careful. It's a fine line that you walk between those 2 months. Preseason for South Carolina, I was 6-4 best case, 2-8 worst case. What's the updated projection here? This is where I differed with Marcelo a little bit. He still kept it at 6-4 best case, as did I. He went 3-7 worst case, though. I went 2-8 worst case. I really do think there's a path, if the bottom were to fall out here, where they don't win another game. That is entirely possible, and anyone who argues with me that it's not, I would give you I would give you 5 VHS tapes to watch. They would just be South Carolina football this year. I had a fair amount of confidence. I'm a little aggravated. You can tell I am, because I gave my stamp of endorsement, the moneyline stamp of endorsement. I thought they were winning last Saturday, and they got splattered last Saturday. So I lost a lot of confidence, and still a little angry about it. I think they're probably looking at something around 4-6. That's where I think they are right now. But 6-4, best case 2-8, I think is the worst case if the bottom were to fall out.